Welcome guys, this is Ola from Stop Me All channel, and what I want to discuss with you today is this game called Firewatch. Now I'm pretty certain most of you have played it. This is a game that's very similar to the type of games that we like to play, and by we I mean myself and most of you guys, but I believe I know the type of games that you guys like. So the games that gave you some feelings and emotions. Needless to say, if you haven't figured that out based on the title of that video, there are spoilers involved. So if you haven't played Firewatch, just go and play Firewatch and then come back and watch that video. Because what I want to discuss today is especially and particularly Firewatch's ending, which was a bit controversial for some people, even for myself. But let's start with the basics. Firewatch is a game about this guy called Henry. His name is Henry, he is 38 years old, and he begins his Firewatch. He goes into the woods and he's gonna start working as this guy who's at the lookout, checking out if there's no fire and alarming other people if there is in fact some incident. He's basically guarding the woods. As we get to know Henry, we find out about his past. We sort of can influence his past, so to speak, but not really. Like, there are some minor decisions to be made at the beginning of the game, like if you want to get a dog and what kind of breed. I got a German Shepherd. What we find out about Henry is that he has a wife. He met this woman, her name was Julia. He met her in a bar and she was a professor and he fell in love with her. They had some drinks, they had some fun, then they started living together, then they got married. They had a pretty good life, they were thinking about getting kids. But then it sort of all went to hell because Julia got some sort of early dementia disease. Alzheimer's, possibly. She was taken away by her family to Australia and Henry was left alone. Apparently they have some best medical care in Australia. I'm not certain why he didn't go, but that's like another issue, Henry's issue. Now as we walk through the woods, and you know, the game is gorgeous, like visually it's stunning. The views that you get to see, you can always take a photo, it's so beautiful. There's always this sort of sunset type of sunshine. I had it as a wallpaper in my computer. So as he starts his watch, he meets his supervisor. Her name is Delilah. Now Delilah has a past as well. At this point we already know Henry's past. We know that he left his wife Julia, who's sick and doesn't even remember him. Henry gets to meet Delilah over this walkie-talkie and they start having conversations. Now as the game continues, we find out more and more about Delilah. She had some sort of drinking problem. She said she had some kind of an ex-boyfriend sort of thing. I think his name was Javier. I think the story was a bit complicated there as well. Javier's brother died. Both Henry and Delilah are runners. They left something major behind and they decided to be alone in the woods, alone with themselves. They run away from reality. Now because I played this game like a year and a half ago, I really needed to remind myself of some stories. Now usually I try to avoid videos, YouTube videos, if I'm going to make a related video, because I don't really want to copy anyone. I want to make my own stuff. I don't want to be influenced, even subconsciously, by someone else's thoughts. But in this case I actually had a look at some videos and I realized something. Firewatch, there's mostly conspiracy theories on YouTube. Conspiracy. Everywhere conspiracy. Because except for what I said, the plot of Firewatch is also some sort of a mystery going on in the woods. Like, you know, Henry sees some dark figure at night. Someone goes through his stuff when he's not at the lookout. There is some murder involved and some other stuff. Delilah is possibly hiding something. That's the conspiracy theory as well. But I figured the much more important thing for me during this game was actually emotions. I'd have to say Firewatch is a game most similar to Life is Strange from all the games that I've played. It is a bit short, it's not as advanced as Life is Strange, but it gave me the same feeling and the same vibe. I wish it was longer, or I wish that they make a second part or anything at all. To me, that game is not really about conspiracy and who murdered whom and who knew what and if Delilah was lying. To me, that game is about two people who were very lost, and there were two lost souls that found each other in those woods. There would be some people, possibly older people, who would say that having a relationship over a walkie-talkie is not really having a relationship. I'd have to say I disagree. There are some people saying that having this sort of relationship when you're just talking to each other or just writing letters, I don't know, sending messages over social media and you don't really know the other person, I would say that this is a fake sort of a relationship. and that it's actually interactions, true human interactions gone missing. I disagree. I'd say this is some sort of advanced level of human interactions. When you're talking to someone face to face, there's always some kind of a level of acting involved. You are never truly yourself with anyone, really. You have always your thoughts. So I figured when you're texting someone that you don't really know and then you're talking to that person, you're only exchanging your thoughts, which is like the essence of being a human being. That's the very essence, what we're thinking. Not the way we look, not the way we act, what we're actually thinking. So coming back to Firewatch, Delilah and Henry, they were talking to each other, late at night, often, every day. They had this very, very cool communication going on. Delilah was funny and sassy and she was very sarcastic. Henry was a bit withdrawn. Then he started talking about Julia. Then Delilah opened up about this Javier dude and other stuff. And they shared something very, very special, which was amazing about that game. And throughout the game, you just find yourself hoping that they'd meet. You just want to go to her Outlook because you can constantly see her Outlook tower. You can see it right there. It's right there, the lookout tower. You just wanted to go there and meet Delilah and be like,
"Hey Delilah, that's me, Henry. Oh, Henry, oh my god, fantastic. Now let's go and have a happy ending."
No, that was never going to happen. Now, I have to admit, I am guilty of that way of thinking. When I was playing, I was certain that we would meet Delilah. I was hoping to meet Delilah. I was waiting for it. I really wanted to just go there and see her, because we never see her. We don't even see ourselves. I mean, we see some pictures of Henry and I think we can see ourselves in some mirrors. We don't actually see Henry, like not properly. And we don't know how Delilah looks. All we got was actually her shirt. So by the end of the game, when there's this big fire called June Fire, we go to her lookout and she's no longer there. Henry and Delilah's relationship got pretty intimate. When the June Fire started, they were talking late at night. And they were talking about basically what they would be doing if they were together. This was cut. I'm gonna guess that this was pretty intimate stuff.
I wish I was over there.
I wish you were too.
We could sit outside. We could talk without these radios. We could,
What? What could we do?
Well, let me tell you.
It was suggested during the game that Delilah had this kind of a relationship with other Firewatchers as well. I mean, it wasn't said directly, so I don't want to get into that.
I don't talk to the other lookouts as much as I talk to you. Not in the same way.
I think what Delilah and Henry had was pretty special and pretty amazing. By the end of the game, as I said before, Henry goes to her lookout and they're meant to meet and they're meant to evacuate together because the fire got too big. Perhaps it was a metaphor of what was happening between them. Delilah was gone. All we got to see was her shirt and her shoes, and that's all. She was gone. I was so disappointed, very disappointed. I really wanted them to meet. And I know that some people, gave the game negative notes just because of that ending. Now, it took me a while, but now I'm thinking this ending made all the sense in the world. They were never meant to meet. Maybe what they had was real. I think what they had was real, but it wasn't meant to last. She had a history. She left some big troubles behind. Boyfriend-related troubles, drinking habit troubles. And Henry, he left his wife behind. She was sick, sure, but you don't really leave a person in that state. Not yet, anyway. They ran away and they found each other and they shared something magical during that time, during those months, when they were talking together every day. And maybe what they had was the most beautiful and the most real thing that anyone can have, possibly. But if they met, would it be as true? Would it be as real? Would this relationship have a future? There was a time when I believed that it would. Now I'm thinking it's probably 50-50. And even though it was a beautiful and magical relationship, the best things, like that one, often don't last. It really reminded me of Lost in Translation movie. Have you seen it? Spoiler alert. Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, they spent the entire movie together. It's just a couple of days and they spend time together constantly. But then he has a wife, she has a husband. Nothing really happened between them. By the end of the game...
Oh god, not a game. Wow.
By the end of the movie, they sort of separate, they go their own way. They share this one last hug, and Bill Murray whispers into her ear, and we never hear what he said. We don't know. As I watched that movie, I was quite pissed. I really wanted to know. I mean, there are people who are actually trying to edit it out, figure out what Bill Murray said, and I wanted to know as well. But now I'm thinking I don't want to know. It's too intimate, it's between two people, and it doesn't matter. What matters is what they had during that time. And same about Firewatch. It really matters that they shared those 2 or 3 months together. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be, then I'm sure that they would sort of meet again. And Henry wanted to. It's just that Delilah didn't want to. If she didn't want to pursue this, to continue that romance, so to speak, who are we to decide otherwise? Let me know what you're thinking about that. Let me know if you were disappointed by that ending, or if you have some other ideas about what actually happened between Henry and Delilah. If you enjoyed that video, there are links to my social media in the descriptions. You can submit subtitles in your native language if you want to. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. That was Ola from Stop Me O channel. Take care, guys.